Hello everybody and welcome to Behind the Curtain. This is a brand new series that I'll be releasing weekly on this channel where I'm basically going to go through, talk about what's been going on my week, the good things, the bad things, and then also talking about a topic which has been kind of popping up a lot during that week. And yeah, it's going to be a very genuine and relaxed sort of feel compared to all the content I've done in the past. I've been struggling a lot recently with trying to find exactly the way to continue doing content. If you didn't know, I was doing weekly videos for about 3 years on my main channel. I'll link that in the description, I guess. And because of life things and the impending need to get a job, etc., yeah, unfortunately, that kind of ran its course, and I was trying to work out how long it would take me to return and all that sort of stuff. And after a long, like, month plus long of thinking, I finally stumbled across this idea, and I thought, you know what? Let's do it. So, yeah, what is this? What is this video, you're probably wondering? And the answer is, it's going to be a very relaxed talk about anything. It's sort of like, I guess you could see it as a venting thing of some kind, but I wouldn't say it's entirely that. I'm basically just going to go through, talk about what's been going on during my week, and then we're going to talk about a topic that has happened and relevant to the week and that I've been thinking about recently, and then from there we'll just kind of snowball, see where it goes. The goal of this is, I guess, in a way to sort of just vent, talk about stuff. I enjoy talking. I feel like everybody close to me knows that. But also, maybe it's going to be an avenue for other people to maybe open up. You know, the comment section's right there and open. You can talk about your week, talk about things, your inputs on anything that I say in the videos, and all that really cool stuff. So, I guess it's kind of hard to introduce this whole series with this episode. It's with the episode, but yeah. Because this isn't going to be like the other ones, because I can't just be like, oh, hey, so what's happened in the last week since the last one? Because there hasn't been a last one, so it's kind of an interesting question of where do I go to begin with? And I guess the main thing is today is going to be very much an introduction to me, the man behind the curtain, you could say. The person that you didn't always know is who I am, and yeah, so some little kind of secret things. Just, you know, talking with down to earth. I wanna keep across and genuine and in everything I do. So that is essentially what's going on here. So yeah, well, it's a little bit about me. If you didn't know me at all, or if you didn't know about these details already. My name is Ethan. It feels weird to be introducing myself like that. I am 21, unfortunately, and I am from the UK. I'm not gonna say any more than that. Yeah, I have been doing, I guess, content creation is the main thing for almost 10 years. And because of things going on in my personal life, I basically had to stop doing what was my upload every single week on YouTube and 4 streams a week on Twitch, because I needed the time to sort of actually get on with life stuff. Things about me that you probably didn't know. Is I overthink a lot, and it is a blessing and a curse, because it is very frustrating when it comes to a lot of situations in my everyday life, and it's also part of what makes me me. You know, I felt, it seems weird to say I pride myself, but yeah, I pride myself on how much I care about things, and that is definitely an attribute of me overthinking, for sure. But yeah, we're gonna just go ahead, and after that brief little introduction, I mean, as we go through this weekly, you guys will probably learn more about me, my deepest, darkest secrets, or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna go through, and we're gonna talk about my week. This is basically how every single structured video is planned to work out. I mean, obviously, this is just the beginning, so things could change with time, for sure. But yeah, so I guess, like I said, it won't be the same as a normal week, because I kind of have to fill you in on multiple things, not just the last week. But yeah, in order to understand, I guess, this last week that I've had, that's propelled me to this kind of area, you have to understand, I have to take you back. And yeah, you wouldn't think a weekly review would take you back to this point, but yeah, we're going to go back to the start of the year. So basically, at the start of the year, January, Obviously, we had a lot of stuff kicking off, but my contract for my job ended. I used to work as basically like an IT support role. It was all like online, so I worked from home, all that sort of stuff. If I'm honest, it was a really, really lucky and fortunate position for me to be in. It was very easy. It was very little hours and very high pay for what it was. And I was living. I was so happy. I was just vibing. I was able to do everything I wanted. I finally had money. It was my first kind of job, and I had so much money I didn't even know what to do with it. And I didn't even work much for it either. I still had basically all the free time I wanted, and everything was absolutely great. But obviously, time comes along, and we hit the start of January, and unfortunately, after a lot of negotiations and back and forth, they call me and say that we can't renew your contract. So you will be leaving. Oh, well, that was terrible. So you'll be leaving us at the end of January or mid-January, something like that. So I was like, all right, it is what it is. The life goes on. So from there, of course, I determined to left that job, but like I would no longer had that job, and I was like, I'm a pretty I like to plan. Right, so because like I said, I had so much money that I didn't even know what to do with. I saved a lot of it, especially because that job, like, climate was kind of shaky, because I was constantly on my contract, like, renewed and stuff like that, so it wasn't, like, super consistent. So for a case of, like, feeling, like, financially secure, I saved, like, a lot of money. I'm talking, like, I can say that. So a quick like little side, but obviously I won't say everything that goes on in my personal life during these, but I do want to try and be as open as I can. But obviously I'll have to omit some details. But basically, I can say this: I'd saved about like $5,000 from that, and basically from then until now, I was just living off of that money. So obviously, as time goes, money goes. And I got to a point where, like 3 months ago, I was like, hey, look, I'm running low. Like, I'm running low. So I said to myself, you know what? You're gonna have to start looking for jobs. And so the good old, I feel like it's like an infamous, the tiring, frustrating job search began. And yeah, that's basically where I've been for like the last 3 months. Well, technically the last year, but specifically more the last 3 months. So you're probably wondering, how does that tie into this week? Well, now I'm gonna take you back to 2 weeks ago. All right, 2 weeks ago. So I was applying for jobs. Finally, it takes me a while to apply for jobs because I really hate the prospect of being in a job that you dislike. I get told a lot that like, oh, everybody hates their job, and I just don't think that's true. I feel like there'll be something out there where I can enjoy my day to day. But yeah, so I'm sat there. I send a few job applications through, and I wake up on the Tuesday morning 2 weeks ago, and I wake up to a text message from one of these jobs of them saying, hey, seen your application, we like it, and we'd love to invite you to a Zoom interview. And I was like, oh, fantastic, things are looking up, let's go, this is great. So I reply, and I'm like, yep, can do. Yeah, I can make whatever the date was. It was like the day after or something like that. And then I start, I start to kind of close. That state of sleeping where you're quite asleep, but like, and you're like, you need to get up, but you're just like, you know what if I just don't right now? Well, yeah. So I was like nodding back off to sleep, and then all of a sudden I get a call. Now, if you know me, I literally never get phone calls. Like, I never get phone calls so much that, like, my phone doesn't properly react to phone calls. Like, it doesn't ping me or notify me when I have phone calls normally. So, did I just get baited? Yeah, I did. Okay. So, yeah, I got a call. This was, like, at 8 a.m., so it was lucky that I was even awake to begin with. So I get this call, I answer it, and obviously, when you answer the phone and you're, like, really tired, and you're like, yeah, hello? This was like an employer that was calling me at this time, so it was a little rough, but yeah, this is a different employer, and they were like, hey, seen your application, really like it, would love to invite you to a different interview. And I was like, oh, great. Finally, after so long, had 2 interviews lined up, things were looking up, I was smiling, I was like, yes, you know what? maybe things are gonna work out. You know, maybe I'll get one of these jobs. Maybe things are gonna be awesome. We'll see where it goes. And so yeah, I do the first interview the day after, and goes well. Goes really well, and I get invited to a second interview. So basically, both these jobs had like a 3-stage interview process, and I got invited to the second stage. I was thrilled. I was so happy. I was like, you know what? I didn't fail. Let's go. Like, even if I don't make it, you know, I got through one interview stage. You know, I've got those skills. And I literally, for this interview, I asked people around for advice, and because I haven't really done many interviews, if any, before. And the main bit of advice that I kind of took on, I can't remember exactly who said it, was just be yourself. And I know it's like a very thing. It's like, you know, with interviews, you also have to like not lie, but like stretch the truth. You know, make yourself sound a lot better than you are. And I mean, I did a degree of that, but a lot of it, I just was genuine. You know, I talked about how one of the things I cared about most was creating content online. You know, I talked about that. I talked about other things I do in my free time and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I got through to the second stage. So the day after, I had the other interview for the other job, and I did that one, and I got through to the second stage, and that one too. Things were looking great. So happy, so happy. And then we get to the second stage interview of both of them. I do both, and the first one, they don't contact me like straight away. They said they'd contact me within a certain time, and then they didn't. So I was like, all right, it's what it is. You can't win them all. So I go ahead and I go. And I'm like, you know, we'll just push into the other one. And then we go to the second stage of the second one. And it doesn't sound as good as I wanted. You know, the job title was kind of like, it was kind of vague. And it was starting to sound like something I wasn't a huge fan of. So in the second stage of that interview, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to put my all into this one. I'm just going to kind of do it for the sake of doing it. But I'm really not going to try my hardest to get it. And then after that one, they both were like, oh, we'll call you later. I get a call and I'm like, oh, awesome. Does this mean I made it through the second one? Cool. Even though I wasn't like too thrilled about it. And the call is actually the guys from the first one. And they were like, hey, we had a system issue. Really liked your app. App sounds weird. They obviously didn't say that. Application. We'd like to invite you to a third interview. And I was like, oh, awesome. Fantastic. I was like, you know, the one I preferred. I was thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. So I'm like, yeah, of course. And then this was like on a Saturday as well. This was like rough. So we go there, and I'm like, all right, time for the final interview. Let's see what we do. It's a quick little phone call, you know, just a few of the basic questions that I'd already been asked about 15 times. You know, like the why should we pick you, blah blah blah. You know, I feel like everybody watching probably knows that shtick. And they were like, well, look, I want to offer you this job. And I was like, yes, let's go. I was thrilled. I was like, let's go. You know, like kind of cliche thing where like you go around, you tell your family like, oh, guys, I got the job, and they're like, oh, we're so proud of you. You know, the wholesome little hugs that go on and all that sort of stuff. And then the jokes are like, now you don't have to worry about you being unemployed anymore. You know, all that good old cheery stuff. Yeah. So that happened, and then we fast forward to the week after. So this was a week ago, and I just looped. And I go into work, and I'm like, you know, let's see how this goes. So I go in, and it is like it's scary. Like, it's not the sort of role I ever thought I'd see myself in. But I was like, you know what, I can do this. So, you know, over the week, I'm like trying to build my confidence. I'm like, yeah, you know, I got this, and all that sort of stuff. And eventually, it turns out that the role just isn't what I thought it was, and it was very crushing. I basically came back on the Friday, and I messaged my dad, and I was like, hey, I'm kind of struggling right now. I'm not really sure what to do. I am very worried about what this job is. I don't think it's for me. What do you think I should do? And basically the whole day I spent deliberating over whether to stay and just, you know, try it out, or whether to leave and kind of keep going and hope that I'll find something else. And in the end, unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunately, but in the end, that's what I decided to do. I did. Wait, is this the end? It's better not the end of the map. That's gonna be awkward. But yeah, in the end, I decided to. God damn it! I decided to go ahead and finish what I was doing. It's like, you know what? I emailed them. I was like, thank you so much for all the effort and the opportunity. I really appreciate it, but look, this just isn't for me. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. And well, not today, this week. I basically left that job role, and I was essentially back to square one. And obviously, being back to square one, it's rough. You're not feeling great. And you're kind of lost as to everything. You know, I'm there questioning. I was like, you know, am I looking for the right things? Am I doing the right thing? You know, what job do I actually really want to fit? You know, if I couldn't do that, then what would I do? All those sort of questions. That's been what's on my mind today. And I was saying to my parents, you know, I was upset about it all, and they were like, you know what? Take a couple of days break. Don't look for jobs. Just relax. Just be yourself. Just do whatever you normally do on the computer. That's basically my life. And then, you know, after a few days, get back on the job site, start looking again, all that sort of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, you know what, that's fair. So, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday go by, and it's different, right? And it sounds really weird to say that, but it's different because I went from the last 2 weeks of being awake really early, being busy all like day, and then just really wanting to be free and have my free time again, and then, you know, be able to spend all the time with my friends and playing games and all that good old stuff. But now it's different. Now that everything's been done, it's different. It's changed now. You know those things in life where, you know, something happens and you experience it, and then that thing gets undone. Well, not undone, but like, let's say a new opportunity gets presented in your life, and because of that, your life changes. And then all of a sudden, that opportunity's gone, right? You can't go back to what life was like before that. Now that you've had something else, you can't just simply go back to what it was like. And that is essentially the effect of what happened for me this week. It's been what I've been feeling. I've just not been feeling great. I've been in a really weird spot this week because I've wanted, you know, those last 2 weeks, I kept thinking, oh, I just want to be able to, like, have a lie-in. Man, I just want to be able to, you know, just play games with my friends. And the reality is I can't do that, you know? Like, I can't. My friends aren't around, you know, during the days. I kind of eluded myself. You know, sometimes a couple of them are, but basically none of them. So, you know, they've all got things to do during the days, and I can't even relax either and be like, you know what, at least I get to lie. I mean, yeah, sure, I get to lie, but that's like a temporary, like, benefit, you know? Like, the feeling of, like, having a lie-in, if you know that, I feel like, is that a British thing? Like, sleeping in, essentially. The feeling of that is great for, like, the first 5 minutes of when you wake up, but then after that, it doesn't matter, right? Let's be honest. So, I'm sat there like, well, what is this all, like, what do I do? So those 3 days when, you know, they were meant to be like a break, they were meant to be like, you look, just relax, have fun. I couldn't. I didn't feel much like joy. Everything I did, I couldn't enjoy that much. There's a few times, obviously, but then also it amplifies, you know, the overthinking. It amplifies the stressing because every single little thing that happened during those days, I had some really bad stuff. Well, not really bad. I overthought some things that happened this week. And it put me in a really, really bad, upset mood. And I was, like, overthinking. I was getting worse and worse over and over again. And it was all me just being stupid, you know? And it took me a while to actually work out those things. And once they were worked out, I was much better. But I just, for some reason, I just couldn't work it out, you know? Like, I couldn't jump and be like, hey, this is why this thing happened, you know? This is the reason. My mind couldn't do that because I was just jaded by the fact that, you know, life was different now. And it sounds so weird to just be like, oh, the you know, 2 weeks happen and then you come back and everything's changed. But that's kind of what it is. So yeah, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to because it was always in the back of my mind that, you know, I had essentially failed in what I was doing. I didn't get the job that I wanted. You know, I got my hopes up and then it was for nothing. So then we hit Thursday. And we hit Thursday. I'm dreading waking up. I'm sat in bed. I'm laying in bed. I'm there like, you know what? What if I just don't get up? And obviously, that's not the answer. Wait, how do you do that? Obviously, not wake up is not the answer. So obviously, I get myself up. It doesn't take me that long, to be fair. But I got up and I'm like, you know what? All right. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to play the keyboard. If you didn't know, I play the keyboard. Not very well, but I just kind of, it's like a passion thing. You know, I play, just try and learn off ear or whatever songs that I love. So I get up, watch some videos, play the keyboard. And I'm like, you know what? Gotta get searching. Getting all the job sites. Start searching again. Searching and searching. And just still can't find anything. I just sit down, I'm like, man, none of these things fit me. None of these things fit me. And I'm lost, you know. I mean, this is like a present thing. Obviously, I'm speaking yesterday, but like after this is me filming this right now is me in that same state of like, oh, you know, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna play the keyboard, I'm gonna film this video, and then I'll search for jobs. That was my mentality today. So that, you know, I woke up, that's what I did, and you know, that's the point we're at now. And I guess it's just yesterday I realized that, you know, there wasn't much that was giving me joy right now. And I was thinking, I was sat there and I was like, what is it? What is it that is giving me happiness, or that isn't giving me happiness that was? And I sat there and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's because I don't have anything to do right now. Maybe it's because I wake up every day and that's it. I wake up every day, you know? Like, I don't have, I guess, a purpose. I no longer do, right? Because for the longest time, I kind of viewed that as, you know, every week I had responsibility. You know? Every week, I had a responsibility to make a video. And obviously, that was detrimental sometimes. Not detrimental, but, you know, I struggled a lot with it because, you know, sometimes there weren't things to make videos on. All that sort of stuff. But it was a goal. It was a thing that it's like I was responsible for it. Other people, like, were counting on me to do it, right? So I had a thing to do. Every week I had something to do. And, you know, I might have not been excited to do it sometimes, but I still had something to do. And same with streaming. You know, every week I streamed 4 times a week. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. A lot of the time I struggled because there wasn't much to stream. You know, the viewership was low or whatever. But I had something to do. You know, I had something that made the times when I wasn't doing that something special. And that is kind of what has been the theme of this week. Is finding something to do so that the things that you do care about still feel special. Because when you have all that, I guess the best way I can put it is money, right? When people become rich, they get a lot of money, they lose the value of money. They lose the care as much as they used to have, right? You know, when you have money, you think, what am I going to do now? And, you know, you turn to things that you wouldn't normally turn to. You know, it's a common kind of trend. And that is essentially the effect of what has been happening to me this week and what has been happening to me for a while. So there you go. Now you see the journey of this week and you see the theme and how it's linked to where I am right now, making this video, starting this series. Because I thought to myself, how can I tick those boxes? How can I still have those feelings that I had without, you know, putting too much strain on myself and then not enjoying anything in the inverse? And I guess at the end of it all, and I feel like this is a thing I'll probably say weekly, for a long time, I'll probably say it basically every week. It's all about balance. And if you tip balance too much in one end, if you have too much free time, you lose sense of things feeling special. And if you have no free time, then you no longer have things that feel special. So, for me, that's basically all I wanted to talk about this week. And now that we're at the end, it's been... I do promise this is longer than these will normally be, because obviously I had to do the big fluff, the introduction stuff. But, yeah, at the end of every video, or at the start, you know, I want to try and encourage you guys to talk about your weeks as well. You know, if you guys had a good thing this week, a bad thing this week, talk about it, you know, if you want to, obviously, in the comments. I'll read and reply to every single comment in the description. I'm really curious what you guys think. And also, just, you know, your thoughts on my thought processes. Maybe you have a little bit of advice you can give me. Maybe I have a bit of advice I could give you. All that good old stuff. I really want interaction. Well, that sounds really sad. You know, it'd be nice to see, you know, people kind of interacting and this becoming like a little community sort of thing. You know, every week everybody comes here, we talk about a topic, and then you guys can kind of fill everybody in with your own weeks and everything that's been going on for you. But thank you so much for watching. Obviously, I don't know the exact schedule for this series yet. Probably Fridays is what it's looking like right now. Next week, I'll probably talk more about purpose. It's heavily linked to kind of the themes of today, but if there's enough I feel like I can ramble about. It's very relevant right now, especially media. So, yeah, that's what I'm probably thinking about next week. But if you guys have anything you want to talk about, your weeks, anything like that, go ahead and say it in the description below. I will read and reply to a message. But until then, I will see you all next week. Goodbye, guys.